Hello and welcome to The Discriminating Gamer, the board game review show that, due to its proximity to a black hole, was actually filmed over 50 million years ago. As is my understanding of black hole physics. Anyway, my name is Cody, and today I'm going to take a look at a game that is all about Harry Potter. It's all about a university called Argent, the Consortium.
Did you know that the deepest in the ocean you can go is approximately 2,500 feet before your head explodes? Did you know that even if you swim a couple feet, there are sharks and piranhas and electric eels that would love for you to eat? Come now children, come and play and listen to the words I say. I do not mean to raise alarm, I just don't want you to come to harm. Did you know that some people think that Hitler isn't dead, and he's probably in your neighborhood waiting to crush your head? Did you know thieves and killers, they are all about
In Argent, the Consortium. Some people pronounce it Argent the Consortium, some people pronounce it Argent the Consortium. So I'm just going to pronounce it Argent the Flowranger Mengrove. In Argent the Flowranger Mengrove, 2 to 5 players take on the roles of various candidates, heads of departments within this magical university, who want to become the next chancellor because the existing chancellor is retiring. Various people have been called from throughout the world to help decide who the next chancellor will be. And the goal of the game, then, is for you to get enough votes from those members to become the next chancellor of this university. Now, this is a worker placement game, or as the Germans call it, a worker placement game. And what you're going to do is create a university by laying down a number of different tiles. There's different tiles, different rooms, and within those different rooms you can place mages to do certain things. You're going to have different colored mages, and the mages are going to be they're going to have different powers. For instance, red mages, they can attack other mages, force them out of a room, and they send them to the infirmary because they're wounded. That costs just some magic. Some of the mages are immune to those kinds of attacks, but vulnerable to spell attacks. Some mages are immune to spell attacks, but vulnerable to the red mage attacks. There's various other different things these mages are all good at. The purple can go first. Essentially, they got a fast action. They can take an action, then take another action right after there. So what you're doing is you're placing your mages throughout the tiles in this university. And they're going to give you different effects, different rewards. For instance, you may gain mana, which is your magic, powers your magical spells. You may gain gold. You may gain wisdom tokens or intelligence tokens. You may gain supporter cards or cards from the vault that also give you some fun and interesting things. You may try to get spell cards. There's just a lot of different options here. You can even try to get influence. And influence is very important in the game. It's important in that it can break ties, including a tie for victory. But also, as you're advancing along the influence track, you can pick up merit badges. And merit badges are important because you can use those each turn to send your mages to very, very powerful rooms, spots in each of the rooms in the university. So they can be powerful as well. Now, also, on your turn, instead of placing a mage, you can also draw a bell tower card. And there are different bell tower cards, but once all the bell tower cards have been taken, the round ends. And you then do kind of a cleanup phase before proceeding on to the next round. Now, there's a total of 5 rounds in this game. Normally, there can be a 6th with a variant. But essentially, what you're trying to do here is not simply gain victory points. All these things that you're trying to get is to help you to sway the voters of the Consortium. Now, you've got Consortium cards that are placed face down. And what you do is, one of the things you can do is take a mark if you've gotten the mark skill from a room, you get a mark. You place that mark on one of the cards, and you can look at one of the cards. And those cards say things like, "I will vote for the person with the most supporter cards," or "I will vote for the person with the most intelligence tokens," or "I will vote for the person with the most mana," or "I will vote for the person with the most this or the most that." So you don't know what it is when the game begins, and you are then constantly trying to get those marks to put on the different consortium members so you can see what it is they want, and then you can kind of devise your strategy to kind of fulfill the kinds of powers and tokens and cards that they will vote for you because you have the most of it. That was not a good sentence. Anyway, but that is basically the idea of the game. Trying to get these people to vote for you, trying to figure out how they're going to vote, and then kind of catering your strategy to that end. Argent, the Flowringer Mengrove, is a... first of all, it's a big game. And when I mean big game, I mean, think like, in terms of tabletop real estate, think of Arkham Horror here. Think of, Firefly with all the expansions. Think of these games that just take up all of your table, and then 2 or 3 little tables besides. This takes up a lot of space because there is so much going on here. There are so many different options. There are so many kinds of tokens, and there's so many things you can get, and it's easy to get confused. The first time we were playing it, we were actually using the marks, not only for marking the cards in the consortium, we were using the marks as kind of our backers for our characters because we were so overwhelmed. We didn't get a lot of the things that were going on here. But, play itself is actually pretty fun. It's pretty straightforward in that once you figure out the basic mechanics, once you get the flow of it, it works. It's easier. But there's a real overwhelming factor to Argent, the Flowringer Mengrove, because it is... there is just so much going on. There is just so many choices in this game. Now, sometimes too many choices can be as bad as too few choices. And you're going to get a little caught up in the various options you have to the point where analysis paralysis becomes a real issue. You're looking at the board and you're trying to figure out what's going on, and then somebody else goes and maybe they move and they knock somebody out of their spot or they change the dynamic some way, and suddenly you kind of have to reassess your strategy a little bit, or at least your tactics a little bit, and this causes some serious AP problems. It plays up to 5. I don't know you'd ever want to play it with 5. We played with 4, and 4 seemed good in the games we played. 4 was good. 5, I think it'd probably be a bit much. I think 3 or 4 is probably a sweet spot here. This game is, it's fun. It is a fun game. But because of all these options and all these tokens and whatnot, it is very fiddly. It is very fiddly. You're going to be, constantly trying to find, tokens and then how to use the tokens and how to use the spells, and then I got to see what the consortium members want. So it's very, very fiddly. It's fun, but it's fiddly. This game's strengths are also its greatest weaknesses, and it is, in one word, variety. Variety of strategy, variety of currencies and resources, variety of cards, variety of rooms that you can play in. There's so much variety in this game, and it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. Now, I enjoyed this game. I thought it was fun, but it's one of these games I almost kind of dread pulling down again, just because of setup and having to relearn all these little minutia things. So this is a tough call. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say that the Discriminating Gamer recommends a try it before you buy it here, because as I say, it is a fun game. It is a very fun game, but its fiddliness, its variety, they can be a bit overwhelming at times. The Discriminating Gamer recommends you try it before you buy it.
Did you know that the Food Administration doesn't scan every filth-ridden burger that you're likely to eat, so become vegetarian? Did you know vegetables are full of pesticides? And if you've ever eaten anything at all, I'm surprised you haven't died. Come now, children, come along and listen to this safety song. You're not safe with people, you're not safe when you're alone. You're better off if you stay at home. Did you know, did you know, did you know that most accidents happen in the home? There you're far more likely to be burned, electrocuted, and even break your bones. Did you know, did you know, did you know that it doesn't matter how safe that you are? You could die at any given moment if you're driving in a car.
Thank you so much for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. My name is Cody. We ask you again, please leave a comment on Board Game Geek, on YouTube, on our website, thediscriminatinggamer.com, or on Facebook. We would ask you to please, please, please like us on Facebook and subscribe to us on YouTube. We are The Discriminating Gamer, and the only real magic that excites us is your smile.
Please somebody help me on my feet again, and I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know where I've been. Please somebody help me on the solid ground. It's a long time, and I'll be dying. Once a year I wind up in the band. God knows that I love to fight, but
Anywho, make sure you like us on Facebook and subscribe to us on YouTube. The Discriminating